Thank you very much for staying tuned to the Nigerian Television Authority. My name is Cecil Egbele, and you're watching the Medley Show with me, Cecil. On the program today, we'll be taking a look at traditional marriages. Yes, traditional marriages among different cultures in Nigeria. Of course, we know that the country is so diverse. There are many languages, many cultures, ethnic groups and all. So, but the traditional marriage, the practices, the rites and rituals and these ceremonies differ. So if you would like to marry from another tribe other than yours, there are many things you might need to know about these people. I've attended a couple of these, some of these weddings. Okay, well, mostly I attend the weddings, the Christian or the Muslim ones, not really the traditional ones. But I know for some, a little fascinating, like the Yorubas, you know, the whole dobale thing. I like it. I like seeing it when all the men and all these grown men, all of his friends, they all, you know, go flat on the ground. I mean, sometimes they have some guys who are not Nigerians who do the same. I mean, really interesting and nice and maybe sometimes funny. I also like the Fulani one. I think it's the Fulani one that they flog the groom, yes. So there are many exciting ones. I would like to know, what's the practice? What's unique? What's about the traditional wedding from your part of the country? Do share with us as we go on with the program. Our phone line is 081 177 82020. That's our phone line. You can send us messages via text messages or WhatsApp only. 081 177 82020. Well, I wouldn't be doing this alone. I have some guests with me on set, and together would talk about a few of these cultures with the hope that you will tell us about yours, and let's see how we can make this whole 1 hour worth the while. All right, I'll start with the lady, Regina Ogbe. Regina Ogbe, she's a cultural enthusiast and, of course, the proprietress of Greenfield Academy. Thank you very much for coming around.
You're welcome.
Okay, all right. Godwin Ilobe is my guest also. He's a cultural enthusiast also, and he will be telling us something. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay, I just said WhatsApp or text messages only, and I see a couple of you trying to call. Please don't call, just send it as text message so we can take as many as possible. Just before we go into our first feature, let's have, I just talked about the Yoruba.
Yeah.
I talk about Yoruba. I like that. So that's not the ballet part. That's the ballet. That's the flat. The one that go flat on the ground. Yes. So let's talk a little about the Yoruba. What's unique? What's different? What's special about the Yoruba wedding, traditional wedding?
A lot is special about the Yoruba wedding ceremonies. You know, the Yorubas. When you mention the word Yoruba, ceremonies, and bells, you know,
yes,
to whatever thing they are doing. I'm not Yoruba, but I grew up in Lagos, and the entire Southwest. So I'm at home with some of the practice.
All right, so tell us exactly, how does marrying? I don't know if you are familiar with Yoruba a little. How does marrying, maybe? Okay, let's say the man is going to marry from the Yoruba land.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about the ceremony, the ritual, and all that happens. I know, apart from the ballet one we talked about, there is this thing that they read. The bride, someone goes to. I don't know. Just take us through it.
Yeah, usually, whether it is Yoruba land marriage or Igbo, first of all, the bride and groom will always, first of all, meet and then start an understanding. And
if it's not arranged marriage, continue.
No. We are not talking of arranged marriage now. We are talking of serious.
Okay, so
marriage.
They meet and they get to know themselves.
They get to know themselves, and at a point, maybe they start dating and all of that, and it gets to the point that maybe I want to settle down with this lady or young man, and that takes a while. That should take a while.
Let's just go into the traditional ceremony
proper. At that point, maybe they usually you inform your parents. I think they must have been seeing one or two things. Then they'll be waiting, expecting. When is this young lady going to bring this guy home? Or when is this guy going to bring this? So at that point, you inform your parents, and they ask series of questions and all of that. What do you know about this girl? What's her background and all of that? When they are fairly satisfied, they may say, okay, let's see. And after some time, when you are ready, when you think you are ready, you and your partner, then you can tell your parents, I'm ready for this business of marriage.
Okay.
Yes.
Then
that is the preamble.
All right. So all those preamble, whatever we know. Okay. Now, I'm just interested in the ceremony proper. The whole what cannot be.
Yes. Begins with the introduction.
Introduction.
That is because you have cut off a lot of things now. That is the family of the bride, of the groom.
Of the groom.
Because it's the groom that looks for a wife.
Yeah, yes.
We now formally meet the family of the bride.
I think that's cut across different cultures.
Yeah. You asked the question about the Yoruba.
Okay.
And then the introduction, like is done in those days, is to afford the two families to know themselves for the very first time.
Yes.
This is my mother, this is my father, this is my uncle, this is my sister. This may not be my biological father, but it's my father, you know, that kind of a thing. The two families do that introduction. And after that, there will be this interaction. Mutual respect, mutual visitations, And when that is going on, both families are expected to, know a little bit about the other family.
The other family, okay.
And maybe raise observations and all of that, questions, And that is what is meant by introduction.
Okay.
There are a few cases that I know after the introduction when they have some irreconcilable issues.
Yes.
Something happens. They say, no, we can't go ahead with this, but that is very extreme and very few cases. So that is introduction, as the word goes, is basically for the two families
to get to meet themselves formally.
Of course, you don't go to a prospective in-law or an in-law with empty hands. You go with initial drinks, cola nuts, very, very minor.
Yes. Gifts,
gifts. You get, when you get there, they welcome you with cola, with drinks, and palm wine, and all those sort of things. And then, when you are welcome, you are expected to also,
offer them something.
Offer them your own present. And in this part of the world, they say, he who brings cola
brings life. Right. All right, I want to pause you there now, but I would like you to come in, but that will be after we take a feature. Now, we put together a feature on how the ceremony happens in Yoruba land, Yoruba traditional wedding, how colorful and all that goes around it. All right, let's take a look at it, and then we'll be back to talk a little more.
Welcome to the world of the Yorubas, known for class and finesse when it comes to traditional wedding ceremonies. It is a big deal and can involve lots of spending.
You could do a big society wedding and you could have 10 different caterers that you have paid to bring in the food. Okay, so you've got a wild, crazy choice of food from everybody. But you could do a much smaller traditional wedding or Yoruba wedding, And instead of having 10 different caterers, it's 10 different friends that bring in the food for you because they want to add to your joy, they want to contribute, they want to make it a success, they feel they want to be a part of it. And I think that's what we have to look at when we look at budget.
The Yorubas have a unique way of conducting traditional rites of a wedding ceremony. The man has to go with his family to meet the girl's family, which is popularly known as the introduction. The idea is to introduce key members of both families so they know their son or daughter's new relatives. After the introduction comes the engagement ceremony. This is a more serious event, but comes with color, food, and lots of activities like the presentation and acceptance of proposal letters. The groom, along with his friends, has to prostrate before the bride's family and many other things.
If you don't do it the traditional way, as far as everybody's concerned, you have not got married. That is why we might say it's a traditional engagement, or you must have your introduction, you must have your engagement. If you don't do those two things, your parents will not even allow you to do the white wedding.
Families and guests usually look graceful in matching outfits, known as ashwebi. The bride and groom always stand out in matching native attires, known as ashoke.
Being married to a Yoruba culture, and this is what I discovered, moving to Nigeria. The first time I went for a Yoruba wedding, oh my god, I just felt like everything was extra. The makeup, the gele, the bride was, oh my god, it was amazing. And I'm coming from East Africa, where we are more like conservative. We are not like over fashionable like how Nigerians are. So it was quite an experience for me.
All of these coordination is carried out by a master of ceremony, what the Yorubas call alagai joko and alagai duro, and they are mostly women.
Just as the name implies, alagai duro is the one that's going to stand, the one standing for the groom's family. Yoruba will say idile oko. Do you understand? These are the people that will be like, oh, we are here for this, we are here for that. So alagai joko, as the name implies, they are the one that will sit down. They don't used to sit down at the ceremony. You understand? But we used to use that name just to like to honor them. Do you understand? So their major role is to receive. Alagai joko is the one that will receive. Is the one that's standing for the bride's family.
The engagement list, which is also known as Eru Yawo, must be delivered by the groom's family on this day.
Even if the engagement is going to be in the sitting room, even if just 4 people will be in attendance, even if it's going to be 2 people, there must be Eru Yawo. And the meaning is this: we are coming to your house. We want your daughter. We are not giving you these things. We are not giving you these things to buy your daughter. No. But we are just showing our concern. We are showing it to you that we are ready. Like, we actually mean the business.
After all these various traditional rites of the wedding ceremony, the Yorubas are widely known for an elaborate wedding reception.
Yoruba traditional marriages are about the food, the fashion, and the music. Oh my god, the live bands. Oh my goodness.
The Yorubas are the definition of Owambe in Nigeria when you talk about weddings.
Yes, indeed, the Yoruba definition of fashion and style when it comes to wedding. Oh my, Lagos, well, I say Lagos. Yeah, I know the Lagos party. There's no party like a Lagos party, like an Owambe party. All right, that's the Yoruba wedding for you. Did you at any time, maybe in your younger days, do the double thing with your friends?
Yes, with our friends. Yes, you lie flat on the floor. You must do that. And for me, I did it,
Several
uncountable times. Schoolmates,
Yeah.
At the secondary or university levels.
You have gone with them.
Yes.
All right, very quickly, have you attended any Yoruba wedding?
Yes.
Okay, want to share with us what's exciting and what's unique or different about it?
Like the Yoruba party, you can beat it here in Nigeria. The truth is that a lot of other cultures have copied from the Yoruba, even from where I come from. Our party, it's not like the Owambe, but we try to adapt and bring in a lot of copy. The Ashoebi, which was not in our own style before, is being incorporated into our traditional weddings these days in the Idoma-speaking areas of Benue and most part of the country also. They imbibe from that beautiful Yoruba culture. That's...
All right, we want to add a thing or two on Yoruba before we move on.
Yeah, what I want to add is that as expensive as it looks like, families, it differs from family to family.
Okay.
There are some families that will tell you, no, it has to be moderate. There are some from the word God will tell you, oh, we must go to town with. So it depends on the family involved, particularly the bride, because the bride, the family of the bride takes center stage of the ceremonies until you get to the church. If you are going to go,
so when you get to the church now, it is your own. The couple can do what they.
That is their own,
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so it's beautiful. At least now, let's a thing or two about the Yoruba culture. So if you want to marry from Yoruba land, some of the things from what we've talked about and from the feature we've seen, some of the things to expect and, and all that. Very interesting. All right, moving on. You say you're Idoma. Tell us about Idoma culture. What's the practice?
The Idoma culture is one of the most beautiful cultures in Nigeria. I'm not saying that because I'm from Benue, but from Idoma.
Sorry, Idoma is the red and black.
The red and black.
Okay. No, sometimes people confuse it with the white.
No, the white is the TV.
Wine and black.
The TV,
Wine and black, okay.
Yeah. So we are talking about the traditional marriage. Marriage is a union between a man and a wife. But in the traditional setting, it's not just that. It go way beyond that. It's between the two families, sometimes between the two cultures coming in, if the wife or the husband is from another, different culture. Like, I am an Idoma woman. My mom is from Kaduna State, the southern part, and she have been married for upward of 50-something years. It's a beautiful combination of cultures and, it's beautiful. Now, in the Idoma traditional marriage, the first set is the man, sees a lady that he loves, and then he speaks to her. When she consents, they will be, he will be visiting her for some time, and when he sees that she's actually who he wants to spend the rest of his life with, he then goes further, discuss with his parents, and tells them that he has seen the person that he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And then the parents will now take it from then, and they will schedule a visit, which is called in Idoma, Ojole. That is
going ahead or something?
Introduction in Idoma, in English. So when they schedule that, they will go not empty-handed. They will go with kola nuts, with palm wine. I'm from the part of Idoma where they are the best palm wine tappers in this country.
I agree.
I'm from, so naturally they will go with palm wine, and then the guests who happen to be their in-laws to be, we also prepare a sumptuous meal to welcome them. That's the first visit. There they will discuss with them their intention, and then they will leave for that day. The second visit will now be the Odipe. That is, they are coming to seek for the hand of the bride in marriage.
on that day, when they come, they will be greatly entertained also, and then they will be given something like a list. The list, unlike some part of the country where it's very, very serious, ours is not too serious. It's just some minor things that you are meant to provide, because majority of what you should have been asked to do with the list, you give in monetary terms. Now, that money that you give will be used by the family of the bride, you know, for the entertainment when the time comes. The feeding, the drinks, and all that is what you use the money they will give, instead of giving a long list. Usually, the little that is in the list is still the palm wine, the kola nuts.
Yes, I was going to ask the palm wine.
The palm wine, the kola nuts, palm oil, and yams, you know.
Our very famous kola nut, it cuts across.
Cut across, you know. And then when that is done, the final is, by the time you do that, they will now give you the date of the marriage, which is Omechonya. Now it is on that Omechonya that you will come when the date is fixed. You will come with your family. Before then, the family of the bride will have done some investigative things, like knowing where the groom is coming from. Is he from a good family? Is everything okay about him financially, health-wise, and you know, all will be taken into consideration. Why they do that, especially in the olden days, is to find out the man that is going to get married to our daughter, is he okay? Is he physically fit? Is he healthy? Is there anything like history of epilepsy in their family, madness, and you know, stuff like that? Naturally, if you discover such things, you would not want your daughter to go into that family. But if nothing like that is discovered and you feel that is a man that will be able to take care of your daughter, of course, willingly and happy, you let your daughter, and then the day have been fixed, and then, you know, members of both family will come, friends and well-wishers will be, you know, part of it, and then the dowry will be paid.
Dowry is paid on that very day of the marriage.
On that very day of the marriage. Yeah.
It's traditional.
Yeah.
And then final.
In my place, where in the part of the Idoma I come from, which is the Otupa, from Ogbadibo, there's something unique about their culture.
Okay, I like
that. In terms of the marriage, there's this thing that we call aliku. You know, yes, aliku.
I watched it in the movie.
You watched it fine. So, in the process of the marriage rites and all that, some money will be given to the bride, you know, to take in a calabash.
Okay.
They call it emowo. If the girl picks and take from the calabash some of the money, it means she have committed herself. As long as the marriage is consummated, she's not supposed to go and have any other carnal relation with any man. And if she does, because she have dipped her hand and taken part of the money, which is a dowry, to have negative implication in not just her life, but that of her family. Yes.
Okay, wait. I think that also cuts in, you are from Edo State.
Yes.
Another thing I think I understand that happens in Edo and Idoma is that they give you their wife in life, not in death. When she's died, you bring back their
Yes. I was going to say, for instance, years back, you know, things are changing because of modernization, cost of living and things. That the dowry is actually very, very small. And one thing is that the groom never ever pays the total amount that was asked. When you pay, it is assumed that you have bought off your wife, and you can never buy a human being. Yes. So no matter how small, you pay some part of it and leave, even if it's small.
Okay,
so
I would have thought.
It also signifies or means that when you lose your wife while still married to you, you are to take back the corpse to the fatherland. to her father's compound for burial. Yeah.
I really would like to understand how that works. Let me hear from your point of view.
Yeah,
Quickly.
I think now I will speak more on the Edo.
Okay,
aspect
please
of
do.
it. Yes. In addition to what she has said, it's basically the same stages. Which aspect would you want me to?
Okay, I would like you to very quickly run through how the traditional marriage works there, and also still add to what you just said. I'm sorry, very quickly. Are you all watching, my dear friends back home? Please do well to send in your contribution. Tell us how it works in your area, or if there's any contribution, any question you'd like to ask from what they said, please send it to our phone line 081 177 82020. I think the number should be showing on your screen right now. Please do be part of this conversation. All right, let's hear you very quickly.
I will draw from experience from the Ira Edo State, because
Okay.
I'm an Ira man.
Okay.
And I know a bit about the traditional marriage. I will go straight to the initial visitation. That is,
Okay.
the two families they meet.
They've met already?
Yes. The whole lesson, before now, in those days, marriages could be based on families.
Yes.
Not even the bride or the groom. Could be my family wants to marry from the family A for reasons best known to them. And once they agree, they call the bride and the groom, and that is it. Those days, those marriages like that were arranged.
Okay.
Modernity, civilization, education, and all
right.
that has it. Now, on the very first day, you go with some presents. We talked about that, just like
Yes, we
Yoruba
talk about all
one.
that, yeah.
Nothing serious is done or expected.
Okay.
You are coming to say, I have seen a flower in your family.
Yes.
You want to pluck it and all of that, and then and both of them they exchange pleasantries and minor entertainment and so on.
Okay.
Now, the engagement, that is the, and between that and the engagement, the two families, they interact.
All right, I want to pause you there. Please, you continue from where you stopped in a moment. But let's take a look at some traditional marriage in other ethnic groups, and then we'll be back to pick up from the Edo culture.
The uniqueness of Nigerian traditional marriages are many. These wedding cultures come as a surprise to many. First, we go south to the Kalabari tribe.
The Eya is the one where all the requirements of the marriage is done. The Igwa Sime is where something like half of it is done. And of course, the Wari Bibi Sime, as the name implies, is the one done in the house. Bibi Fe, which literally means buying of the mouth before the lady can eat, or the parents of the lady can eat in the house of the husband. The Eya, which normally is also the final stage of a marriage, it is the most dignified in Kalabari land. The husband is required to provide as much as what he can afford. In fact, in some cases, houses are built for the wives. A lot of ornaments in form of gold, silver, jewelry, trinkets, and all that are provided. The kings have roles to play. They participate, and there are special guests in that occasion, not just elders of the community. The king, the chiefs are all invited and have their portions of the merriment to partake in that marriage. Until that is done, the marriage in our area, we can say, is not complete.
For the Efik tribe, a letter of intention is written by the groom to the bride's parents. This is accompanied by drinks. A reply is issued only if the bride's family is pleased with the groom. After the knocking of the door has occurred, the bride is sent to the fattening room where she is attended to by elderly women who teach her how to prepare special delicacies, how to raise a happy family, amongst other things. On the wedding day, the bride price is paid to the mother and father separately. The groom finally pays for the loosening of the feet and arms of his bride so as to claim her as his wife. For the Idoma traditional marriage, dowry is paid on the wedding day after some haggling. Once an amount is reached, it is placed on a plate and the bride is called out to take part of it and offer the rest to her parents. This signifies her acceptance of the groom. The father in turn takes the token and returns it to the groom, saying that he should use it to take care of his daughter. This is the seal of the marriage, and they are now considered husband and wife. Finally, the Asian culture allows for both polygamy and monogamy marriages. While paying the bride price, the mother and the extended family are giving gifts. On the wedding day, the bride is hoisted on her father's lap, where she receives advice and prayers for her and her new home. In the past, it would take her 13 days to go to her husband's house, but now it's done on the same day. While she's being brought to her husband, he will have to pay for roadblocks to be cleared before she can come and be hoisted on his laps. Different tribes, different modes of wedding, all colorful and beautiful, showing that tradition is still very much respected.
Oh, okay, indeed. Good. The report has even taken a look at some of the things we are talking about. And I was just about to take a few of your messages, but let me hear you quickly tidy up on the Edo marriage we're talking about.
Yes, I will fast track it to the engagement day.
Okay.
The engagement is the hallmark of the traditional marriage. At that ceremony, that is when the lists, the presentations, of the items requested for are made and accepted. Of course, some of these they are mostly agricultural produce.
Okay.
Because and that is because when you talk of agri, you are talking of reproduction.
Productive.
So it's linked to bridal issues, marriage issues, that the marriage should be fruitful. You have they bring palm wine, cola, gari, and what is it called now in English? They bring all those items. And the family of the bride, they have a standby small committee who will go and inspect
the items.
And once they are satisfied with it, or if there is any observation, it is that small committee made of the two families. They will settle it and then come back to give
a report
that yes, the items are complete. But in very few cases, they will say, this particular item, we are not satisfied with it.
Something is missing.
Something is either it's not adequate or it's completely missing. But at the same time, as we go, they will always reach an agreement. Then the dowry.
Okay.
The dowry in Nation land, it is 60 pounds, 120 naira. That was when naira was naira. 60 pounds.
60 pounds.
And aside from that, you have money for the women, 10 pounds. Then for the family itself now the dowry
let's do that very quickly, so I'll take some
because that is the key.
Okay, let's just take it very briefly. Let's move on.
Okay.
Dowry very briefly.
Okay, the dowry in this land, is akin to that of the Idoma. The father takes very small amount of it, some as little as 50 naira, 100 naira. In the ones I've attended so many years back now, I've not seen any father taking more than 200 naira. And then the rest, you say, look, let the new couple go and start.
They to start their family. Let's take a few messages. Abubakar Bako from Katsina said, I served in Idoma land and I like their marriage culture. Thank you very much, Abubakar. Okay, who is this next? What about Steve from Benue? What about Steve from Benue State? I mean, their marriage. Someone is asking, no name. Who is this? In regards to traditional marriage, I'm from Uromi, Edo State, and what is stated is almost similar to ours. And there is nothing as beautiful as marrying from Uromi. Okay, nice. All right, so who is this? Please, how do they do traditional marriage in Igbo land? And what are the steps and procedure? All right, Igbo land, we'll take that soon also. I'm NSC from Kogi Central. Marriage basically in Ibira. Bushmeat or dry catfish is a vital item to be provided. Okay, I have a few more messages, but let's take a look at marriages as they happen in the northern part of the country, and then we'll be back to take your messages and to have a conversation.
Like other parts of Nigeria, weddings in the north are community celebrations where extended family, distant relatives, neighbors, and well-wishers are gathered. Getting married is a milestone for the couple as well as their parents, who are excited to witness such joyous moments. Nagani Naso, meaning I love what I see, is usually the first steps in traditional Hausa marriage. The tradition demands that the groom's family, along with other friends, take with them some gift items like money, fruits, and perhaps kola nut as a token to the bride's family. This gives permission to the intending husband to see their daughter. Accepting the gifts, therefore, gives the intending couple the chance to get to know each other. However, the final consent is with the bride. The family of the bride-to-be will then conduct an investigation on the background of the intending groom, his religious beliefs, family customs and history, as well as every important details concerning his upbringing. If satisfied, his family will be notified, and soon after they will return to commence the next phase as Gaiswa, meaning greetings. At this stage, both families will agree on the wedding arrangements, bride price, fixing a wedding date, among others. However, this practice may differ from one Hausa community to another. The last item to be taken to the bride's family before wedding is the kain lefe, commonly referred to as the clothing and accessories, which are carefully arranged in boxes or bags. These cloth boxes are sent to the bride's family few weeks to the wedding. Traditional Hausa wedding tend to last about a week, starting with series of events like kamu, bridal shower, cultural night, bridal conveyance, uni, among others. Uni, popularly known as Mother's Eve, is considered a significant event as it allows the bride to freely mingle with her female friends and members of her family. This moment is usually cherished as the bride is beautifully adorned with traditional henna designs on her body. Aurang Auri, wedding fatia, is the most significant event of the entire marriage process. As against what obtains in other cultures, in the Hausa culture, it is representatives from the groom and bride's family that usually consummate the union on behalf of the couple. They do this in the presence of a cleric and wedding guests. Dowry is paid to the bride through her family, and prayers are offered to the newly wedded couple. Other events that add more color and glamour to the wedding ceremony include Ke Amaria, bridal conveyance. This is when family and friends escort the bride to her new home to be well received by the groom's family. This is usually preceded by prayers and advices from her family. Sembaki is a negotiation between the groomsmen and bridesmaids, debating on the amount to be paid before the bride is allowed to speak to her groom.
All right, so that's a traditional marriage in northern Nigeria, Muslim, not the Muslim wedding, how it happens in northern Nigeria. But there's something that is I really would like to understand, which is not in that feature, which is the one that they flog the groom.
Fulani.
That's the Fulani.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from research, most of the culture in the traditional marriage across the country is similar. The couple meets, the family goes in, the dowry is paid, all those things. But there's a unique one that is not similar to all this, and that's the Fulani traditional marriage. How is it done? There are 3 stages. The first stage is the sharo. That sharo is where the intending groom is being beaten physically, in the presence of his family and friends and neighbors.
Or is real?
It's real. It's real. And the essence is real. The essence, they are nomadic Fulani, most of them. They move around, they wander. Sometimes they are in the bush, most times, and all that. So they need a man that is strong enough to protect his wife, and that's the reason for that beating. A man that will be able to withstand that beating means he's strong enough to protect his wife, and eventually if the children come. So that's the number one thing. The next thing is the kogal. The kogal is the payment of the dowry, and how they do this, not like in most of the other cultures, is done by the payment of goats, sheep, and cow. That's basically their dowry. The groom gives it to the father of the bride, and then through the father it goes back to the bride. And then the final stage of their marriage, after the beating and the dowry, is the religious one, which is the cabal. There the bride is being escorted to her husband's house, and when she gets there, the women in the family, receive her by praying and welcoming her to the family. That's the final stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually thought that whole flogging thing was a whole lot of drama.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
All right. So someone had asked about the Igbo culture. Well, we've got the Igbo culture covered. All right. Let's take a look at this one put together by Burial Carrefour on how the traditional marriage works in Igbo land. So if you're interested, watch it.
Shopping, decorations, and laws to eat and drink are usually the highlights of most marriages in Nigeria. For a union between a couple to take place in the southeastern part of Nigeria, there are marital rites involved in ensuring it is traditionally done. Traditional marriage ceremony for Ndibo has various stages before the day of the main celebration, which is called Ibanko. The first step for any groom looking for a bride is Ikwaka. Usually, the groom's family is not meant to come with anything because at this stage, they are making their intentions known that the groom is interested in their daughter. Some of the things expected to be present are drinks and kola nut. Food is optional. The groom's father does all the talking.
You knock on the door. Knocking on the door means you are coming to introduce yourself. And when you are welcome, you bring some drinks, palm wine, and begin to talk in parables. We saw some beautiful fruit in this place, and we think it belongs to you, and we want that fruit. to be ours too.
Immediately after Ikwaka comes Idrese. Here the groom's family makes an inquiry to know about the bride's family, especially her background and history.
It presumes that you have checked the genealogy of the woman to know that he's distant from you. The family has no madman there. There's no madness in the family. There is no bad sickness in the family. So you go ahead. You ask, are these people clean? Are they clean? Meaning, are they members of the caste of your Osu system? This is an antiquarian system that has no basis today in modern society.
After Idrese, as most Igbos call it, comes Imego, which is also known as bride price negotiation. The bride price is usually not high. It can be as low as 50 naira. Other things that could elevate the price are usually the list from the bride's family and different traditional groups that will be settled for the ceremony to take place. The list is usually detailed with the number of items being specified. This is an integral part of the traditional marriage in Igbo land. This stage differs slightly in various communities and towns in the southeastern part of Nigeria, with varieties in bride price which could be significantly high or low. The high point of the Igbo traditional marriage rite is Ibanko and Iduno. The ceremony is done at the bride's family compound with the bride and groom beautifully dressed in their traditional attires. The bride is expected to come out with different outfits. The first outfit will be to greet her in-laws. The second is to greet her people and her guests. While the last is the wine carrying segment of the ceremony. This is the part where the wine is given to the bride to look for the groom.
Everybody is seated. And then we want to know whether the dead daughter really knows the man is trying to marry. So we pour wine in a glass and give the girl, say, go and give the drink to the person who is going to marry you. And the girl will be going around as if he doesn't know where he's going. Just moving around pretentiously until he comes to the boy and gives the boy the drink. The boy drinks and everybody will then be clapping.
Traditional marriages in Anambra, Imo, Ebonyi and Enugu are quite similar with slight difference, which centers on the bride price.
All right, thank you very much for those of you asking about the Igbo culture. Now you know, so if you're interested, I hope that feature has given you a hint. All right, I'll take a few messages and then we'll move on. Firstly, you are doing well. You're doing well. It is sad that we're gradually losing our tradition for modern development. In Okpe land, you pay the bride price of 120 naira and part of it will be returned back to the husband. That's to let the husband know that we're not selling out their daughter, and if the wife for any reason goes outside her marriage and use the money to cook for her husband, it causes a lot of harm and even leads to death. That's the little I know. And this is Christopher asking this. All right, someone is asking Mrs. Regina Ogbe a question that says, hello, good day. And I want to ask Mrs. Regina Ogbe in the house a question. That someone whose bride price has not been paid, but she's living with a man and already has children, will Aleku Idoma affect her in any way? You want to take that?
I will.
Quickly.
Unfortunately, there's no marriage that has been consummated. No dowry have been paid. So whatever you do, you are on your own. You are not recognized by the family of the bride. So there's nothing.
So there's nothing.
There's no marriage there.
Okay, all right. I am Akobi Matthew Agagba from Yala, local government area in Cross River State. Our traditional marriage ceremony is the same with that of Idoma. Okay. However, during the marriage ceremony, there is a formal handing over of the bride to the groom's family. I mean, Yala traditional marriage. Okay, that's Yala across River State. Idoma people, can you guys, Idoma also crash this? Okay, wow, I love Idoma traditional marriage. Bishop Sunday from Gabon.
Oh.
All right, this guy is ready from Gabon. What of Jukum's marriage? Jukum is where Taraba. All right, so the Northern Christian marriages, I think they will have some cultural practices in theirs, because I know for the Muslim wedding, Islam and culture is intertwined. Then for the
let's look at the Southern Kaduna, maybe the Kogoro people.
Okay.
It's similar. That's why I said somewhere earlier that the marriage is something similar. Maybe just the name that you call what's now? The dowry, the introduction, the list and all that is just different name, but it's basically the same thing. Like in the Kogoro, first a groom to be meets a lady that he loves, and then he tells his parents, they go blah blah, they introduce themselves, and some traditional dishes are prepared. Basically, the kidney beans, is big, and for people that know it, it's prepared with bitter leaf, and they, take it, and then they give a list. Majorly on that list, there will be salt. It is this salt that is distributed and shared among neighbors, friends, and relations. When that is done, they know that, wow, this lady have been hooked. And then finally, the wine drinking day comes, just like in the Igbo and other eastern parts. People gather, there's so much cooking, the best of the food of the traditional is brought up, and the lady is being given a wine to drink. Once she drinks wine, everybody cuts off. She's hooked.
She's taken.
You can see that it's similar culture.
It cuts across. Just
the names. The names of
differences.
Differences.
Like that of Edo, I missed. I didn't get to that point before the.
Okay, can you do that quickly?
The bridal box.
The bridal box.
We've not been talking about the bride.
Okay.
It is very key.
The bridal box. What about it?
You have clothes. That's where you have the abadas, the jaws.
Okay, so they have a list of the fabrics you have to have in the box.
There's a list, but they will tell the husband, how to.
How many boxes?
It's called bridal box.
Bridal box, so whatever number.
It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 5,
depending on the level.
Well, for different cultures, they are unusual.
It must be there.
Yeah, for different cultures, their practices, they maybe have a lot of similarities, but they have some little things which are
that stands them out.
Like
the aleku.
All right, so we went on to the street and asked people what are some of the unique and unusual practices you have seen in some weddings you have attended, and a couple of other questions, and these are our findings.
There was a wedding that I went, they shared a manual engine for grinding like a goosey, all these food stuffs.
And we all came that day and we were disappointed. I don't know, when they share the food, I don't know, immediately they get to our place, they will just, pass on. So I will signal my siblings, I'm like, what is happening? Why is it that they are not giving us food?
Of the groom, she prepared very well for her own side, the native soup, food, and everything for her own people. But on the father's side, I discovered that actually what the people who need, they did not get.
That traditional food is not there, just rice, salad, no. That is, I feel it's a borrowed culture. We need to eat our real food. And two, more people will look faces and sharing food because they are not the family, which is very wrong.
I just saw one of recent that they are sharing gari and granite. I was like, wow, gari of all things, can't they do another thing? So that one is unusual too.
Ashobi, we can talk of 10,000, 15,000.
5,000, 10,000, and 2,000. 10,000 downwards. I think it should be 30,000. 30,000, yeah. I think like 2 to 3 years back.
50,000 lace. Yes, 3 yards.
I bought one, 25,000. I used 15,000 to make it, which is 40,000. Wow.
Okay, that's some of the opinions of those from the street. How much would you spend for an Ashwebi, by the way? That's a whole different thing. I would like to have a closing thoughts from you on traditional marriages generally in Nigeria, and then we'll end. Okay. Your closing thoughts.
Yeah, generally, traditional weddings, marriages in Nigeria, they are similar because the actual requirements are not those things you see, parties and so on. Those are additions.
Okay.
Because of modernity, education, and all of that, and then intertribal marriages has also impacted positively and negatively,
All right, ma'am, your closing thoughts.
Wow. The traditional marriage in Nigeria is a beautiful, way of doing things. But one thing I want to say, please, when parents go all out, the groom and the bride go all out to prepare for these weddings, please make it last. And the only way you can make it last is by watering the flower in your garden. Tender it. So also, tender your marriages when you go into it. May the Lord bless us.
All right, thank you very much. Indeed, I can't spend so much money for Ashwebi, and later you tell me that marriage crashed. You must pay me back my money. Please make the marriage work. That's very important. And of course, our traditional marriages are very, very important. As much as possible, attend anyone. You just don't know where you might see your bride. I wanted to take this guy's question, but there's no time. He's an Igbo guy who wants to marry an Idoma girl and really wants to learn more about it. Anyhow, my name is Cecil Egbele. Thank you very much for completing this picture. Let's do this again next week.
Thank you.